It's a daily talk show, episode 407.
It's Weekend Banter, and we got full Gronk squad.
Clap it in, clap it in.
It's
Shepparton represent.
Yeah, this is the band's back together from Shepparton.
That's it.
Kel Wolfe, my housemate.
Hello, mate.
Hey, mate. And our hype man for the daily talk show, but also just Shepparton Shep-lebrity.
He's ship resenting his entire life.
Far out. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me. This is awesome. This is way different to the last time I was on the show.
Oh, what are you saying?
It was just them and an iPhone, wasn't it?
Josh had a tape recorder and we were at the desk.
It wasn't a fucking tape recorder. It was a Zoom recorder. It used an SD card. Right?
$1,700 worth. What episode was that? 50?
50, yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
So we did a road trip up to Shep. We, I I still don't even know what you do for work, but you have access.
He works at a label, that's all I know.
Works at a label, but he also runs nights and fucking... you're a promoter? No, that's a stinky word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Promoter's like a dealer.
I think promoter, when you're doing things like that, is like when you're like 17 to like 21, and if you're still doing it after that, then you're a bit of a, I don't know.
A grub.
A grub.
Or a gronk.
What is a gronk?
I would say it's like what they've classed me as like a creative director.
Okay.
Yeah, of like these businesses.
Okay. Which is a promoter. No. It's the adult, mate. Creative directors. Imagine if in reality they're just promoters. No, but you put on nights and shit. And so anyway, we had access through your homies that own it, and we were able to do our show from
What was the place called again?
The Deck.
The Deck. That's right.
It's
and you've got,
great.
because TJ's always, whenever we're in a regional town, it feels like he's fucking always bragging about a deck that's close by. I think when we're in Ballarat.
No, literally when we were up there to film some stuff, you were up there and you launched on the Thursday night. We were there on the Thursday.
Yeah.
We left.
The
Arvo.
Yeah. So we opened up a cocktail bar downstairs called Uptown just to keep things ticking over. And then there's going to be a deck upstairs. So that's about to launch real soon. So we'll have like 4 in the state.
And they're everywhere. So pretty much all the regional towns we go to. What
do you have to do to have a successful venue? Where's the cash at?
I think it's just treating people really well. Because like, if you go to a different town, you're not from there, people will be like really reluctant to support you at the start. So if you show them love, something that they haven't got for a long time, because a lot of people have the monopoly. If you show them love, then they'll just keep coming back.
It's that and cheap drinks.
Yeah.
And that's why Kel and I will go. We'll go there. If Kel and I get drink cards, we'll be there, and cheap drinks.
Free fireballs, free drinks, free food.
God, we got a few freebies in Shepparton.
There's a photo it must have come out, like a memory not that long ago. It was me. We had like lanyards on with just rum and coke lanyards or something at the GB Hotel. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they were fucking. I think our Jim Beam were doing some honey Jim Beam or some bullshit. But these regional towns, they put on these I don't know, the alcohol labels come. You've probably organised a bunch of them, but there's it's almost like the alcohol promotion.
Yeah.
For the event, and then they give you a bunch of free shit.
Yeah, like regional towns get like really excited about that. Just like the kids in the town, they're like, oh my God, Jim Beam girls. And it's just like these girls from Paran who come down in a car and dress in like Jim Beam singlet.
They can still be Jim Beam girls, can't they? What's wrong with that?
They can. They are.
Do you think
you're ragging on Jim Beam girls?
Do you think venues?
I'm loving them. I'm loving them.
What about Bacardi guy?
I'm just saying they.
Do you think venues are being more thoughtful around doing shit with promotional girls? Like
conferences, you can't go to.
Milwaukee Tools.
Oh yeah.
They don't do in Australia nothing. No promotional women.
No booth girls.
No girls holding drills and shit. Have canned it from any of their promotional stuff. Jim Beam girls was a thing. We did a fucking. Remember when Stacey and I were doing that Friday's house party thing where we'd go?
I remember that. Yeah.
We did a broadcast of the show. This is Stacey who doesn't follow me
on Instagram.
She doesn't follow me.
Neither does Tracy. Just
old housemate.
Oh really?
This is politics.
Oh no!
It just reminded me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Anyway, I went to this.
Okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. We went to this sad dude's house. It was so sad in Marupna, and we rocked up, and it was 5 a.m. and we're going to do this set up to do this broadcast. He'd got this sort of like big fire going for us, and I just smelt Jim Beam on his breath. And then I look over, and there's just a Jim Beam G-string hanging up. and then his wife comes out. It was just a very sad moment.
Did you say there was a poll? I feel like there was a poll as well.
A poll.
Well, there was
for
a poll,
dancing.
was there?
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
You know that's authentic when there's a poll going on.
and Jim Beam G-strings.
Yeah, that's genuine.
But do you think Jim Beam and all these, do you think they still do? Like, are they pushing promotional events with girls?
Not towards us. I think more so in like bigger crowds, like your whole like Bathurst and your big V8 cars and your big sort of concert series and things.
Your bogan gatherings is what you're saying.
I'm just trying to be nice,
Well,
guys.
there was a time I feel that there was a big push to having your own bar, like the wooden bars at home. Like my dad had one where it was almost like the Trevor Marmalade dream. Having your own bar that you sort of go behind. I feel like that's not much of a thing anymore.
Well, you need a bit of space.
I think I suppose if you live out, if you don't live in an apartment, it could be great. But
you can get a bar into your one bedroom.
Yeah, that's it. Just on the balcony.
Just off the plan came with a fucking bar.
Yeah. No, I actually think you're right. I think like a bunch of my mates' dads had all that. That was like it was like a real sort of pride moment where they'd come check out the bar.
Yeah,
like,
with a vintage Coca-Cola bottle they got from Vanuatu.
And just thousands of stubby holders.
Red Bull fridge
from
or
Bali.
Red Bull Light. The fucking old Red Bull signs and shit.
Oh, that's right.
They're throwing them out there.
Neon singlets in a frame.
Signed Warnie cricket bat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so Australian. But I guess it's like the American cabin style, like the hunting cabins and shit.
Yeah.
They're more of a thing over in the States in the winter, probably in Canada, 3D deal.
Yeah, I've got a lot of hunting cabins.
Lots of, dead carcasses on the walls.
What's that called? What are they?
Taxidermy?
Yeah.
Taxidermy.
Yeah,
that's
they're
it.
not
That's
dead
it.
carcasses.
They
are.
technically, they are. But
Yeah.
they're just stuffed.
Moose, deer and stuff.
Yeah.
Bears.
Anyway, it's a bit bogan, isn't it?
And so, Cal, you were Tommy's housemate? Is that right?
Yeah. Is that how I'm defined when you talk about me?
No. I was just, it's one of the things. One of my groomsmen at my wedding. I'll lead with that.
Yeah, great.
So
Really?
That's up from housemate.
housemate, like,
Is that,
we-
how you, is that
we
your
lived-
LinkedIn? Is that
We
what
lived
it's
together for, I don't know, a year or something, was it?
Yeah, I mean, we moved to Shepparton. I mean, if I don't need to bring Shepparton up again, but I will.
Yeah.
Tommy's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder about
No, I
Shepparton
don't.
because someone left a comment saying that our podcast is like listening to a few mates, and one of them just so happens to have lived in Shepparton.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. We got off track. We lived in Shepparton for like a year. Like we worked together at
Star
the
FM,
radio-
Kiss
Star
FM. It's
FM.
not a Kiss FM.
Triple M Shepparton
Fucking-
and hit.
Well, yeah,
Isn't it
it's changed
Southern
three.
Cross Stereo, the whole bunch.
Well, when
wasn't
you
it?
were
Yeah,
growing
just-
up, it would have been
Sun FM.
Sun FM,
FM,
and
yeah.
then Star FM,
Yeah.
and now Hit FM.
Yeah.
But when I got there, I didn't know anyone, and Kel had just rocked up as well,
Yeah.
and so we're these new
Newbies.
punks working, and then
Mhm.
I was living with a girl who gathered hair and put it into a jar. Remember
Yeah.
that shit?
Yeah, and
Like
I was
a
living with
hairdresser?
Jesus, my God.
No, like just a nutcase, as in. Well, and I had my own nutcase as well with
Oh,
Will, obviously.
yeah,
Do you remember
jeez.
that? Remember that? We both landed with some proper housemates.
Yeah, and so we were like, we need to live together because fucking we like
Was
each
there
other.
a
and we're
tissue
normal.
issue or something? I feel
There was
like.
more than a tissue issue, mate. It was a fucking sanitary pad issue.
Okay, it just ran the house. Or
It was.
whatever.
I think she was in love with you too, wasn't she, T?
Oh, I don't know. I
That's
hope not.
Tommy's
I think
constant problem. Yeah, no, everything comes back to that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, why didn't the client work out? They loved me.
Yeah, so we did that. Like we did the radio there for I don't know, a couple of years, or whatever
Yeah.
it was, 2.5 years. Tommy
Yeah.
was there. We had. I mentioned Tracy before. Tracy was our other housemate. That was
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
brought that up. And
And we-
Trace and Stacey are good mates. So
And we played a lot of frisbee, and we dreamt about us getting out of there.
we did.
We played
There was
frisbee every afternoon, and we drank a lot of ciders.
A lot of ciders.
It was how you. Josh has just started drinking red wine. How you feel?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Little
I mean, you don't
tingles.
like being outside, but we were enjoying
I
the
don't mind
tingle.
if it's
We were enjoying the sunshine, throwing the frisbee, and it was just some of the best times.
It was a good time actually. We had fun. I mean, we were back in Melbourne virtually every weekend, but we
yeah. Or at the GV, just fucking free
you're
drinks.
reliving that when we're in New York. You literally bought a beer off a guy in
Oh, you
Central
would-
Park or
you-
whatever, but then you also threw the frisbee. Remember with that
Yeah,
guy?
didn't
with that-
I sent you a photo, Kel?
Yes.
I sent
Yeah,
this
you did.
dude, mate. I've never got onto a frisbee like I did.
Yeah, we were
in
all
Central
about
Park.
like passionately about frisbee at one point,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
where we thought this is just something. I mean, it was frisbee media before,
if-
before it was anything else.
What's
Yeah.
the high end frisbee called? There's one that sort of that has a hole in the
That's not a high end one. That's just an
That's-
aerobie.
aerobie.
That's
Aerobie's
not
a
a
good.
frisbee. It's we call it frisbee, but it's an aerobie. Frisbee's the disc. Where the frisbees come from? We've done a bit of research into this. Remember?
Yeah, dish tin lids. They were original like thin metal
Pizza lids, weren't they?
Pizza on dish tin lid, like as in they were all like just thin metal, and people started throwing them around. I think it originated in California.
Yeah.
And then somebody just marketed the idea that they could just get a circumference.
Sounds like we planned this whole thing. Like
No,
that's a
no,
fucking
see-
good fact.
Well,
Just to have
I
on your
wanted to
hands.
do a video about it at one point.
We should do it now.
I said I even wrote it out. I was like,
You
we should do the origins of frisbee.
It's
this
a
is
good-
how passionate about frisbee.
Because what's the thing that people play together that's frisbee?
like frisbee golf?
Yeah,
Froth?
yeah. I filmed in Dallas, Texas, a guy playing frisbee golf. It's just like they take it so seriously, and they have their whole like bag with like all the like different weighted fucking aerobies. I'm guessing because they have
aerobies,
the
that's the thing. Yeah.
You get some good distance on it already.
You get pissed and you fucking think you're the best. It's great.
Oh, it's
Where's your
fantastic.
trick shots? Did you see us ever playing like when you were driving through Shep?
I think I might have.
Must have.
Yeah.
We used to get a few toots.
Yeah, well,
I
I'm
think so,
sure I
because
saw
no
you
one
tooting at us.
Did that?
Yeah.
It was like weird. You were like hipsters or
Yeah,
something.
and we'll talk about
In
it.
Shep,
I talk
people
about
are
it
like,
on
"What
my
frisbee?"
show.
Yeah.
Did you talk about it in
Yeah,
your
I
show?
talked about it. I was like, you might catch me down Shepparton Parkway. I will be throwing frisbee this afternoon.
So what show were
Yeah.
you doing? Because Tommy had his show originally with Candy Hertz, and
Candy
then
Hertz.
and then later Stacey June.
That's right.
I think
Uh,
Candy actually follows me.
Does Candy
on-
follow
on Instagram.
I'm just assuming that Stacey doesn't follow me, but I'm surprised Stacey doesn't follow you.
Yeah, I mean,
thought
I,
we're all
was,
still
I haven't
mates.
checked. To be honest, I haven't checked because I don't care. I don't
Yeah,
think
we've
there's any
talked about
bad
it
blood.
enough. We're not caring.
it's been-
Oh, do you know what I can do? I'll follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow, follow, unfollow.
I think you could just do it once, and I reckon by the end
No,
of
I
the
think
show.
you should just keep
Right.
following and unfollowing. That's
Yeah,
just like
'cause
a
then
really
it-
normal
then it-
thing to do.
No, but
How
this
about
is the
this?
thing.
Why
It's
don't you
a
just
funny
do a
thing.
follow? Sorry, unfollow, then follow, and then it was her birthday 2 weeks ago. Just like that post and say happy
Does
birthday.
she follow you?
Of course, yes.
She does?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
She
Okay.
follows one half of the
Yeah,
Daily Talk
I
Show.
know.
I'm just going to look.
It's pretty brutal,
That's
isn't it?
insane.
I have
Yeah.
faith that it was just something, just a slip
But I
of the
feel like
finger.
this chat this could leave me with an unfollow.
Unfollowed, follow. Let's see if I get a follow.
Leave it.
Oh, and I'll like her last 4 photos.
No, just go
No,
to the
like
happy
her last
birthday
4
one. No,
photos.
no.
Okay,
It looks
last
like a
one.
bot. She'll
Yeah.
literally think you're a fucking bot.
No, she won't. She'll remember. I was on a radio with him. Radio
No, she
show with
won't
him once.
remember you.
Anyway, yeah, my show with
So were you on
which was
Triple M or
the
what?
the Triple M brand of the Shepparton radio station up there with a guy called Stephen Walter, and we were Wally and Kel for breakfast from 6.
I love that they didn't want to go with Kel and Wally is the
Yeah.
name because they said it sounded like a regional town. Kel and Wally.
Yeah, Kel and Wally.
Kel and
Which,
Wally.
yeah, it fits. I think they actually had a point now looking back.
Yeah,
I
Kel
think
and
it
Wally.
actually does set it.
So you decided on
Wally and Kel.
Wally and
It used to
Kel.
be. It was originally Wolfman and Wally
Yeah.
because my last name's Wolf, and so we
Yeah.
played on that. But
Wolfman.
that was back in Tamworth days.
I like Wolfman.
Yeah,
as a thing.
Wolfman.
I used to love when I was growing up, the Spoon Man.
Yeah, Spoony.
Who's
He was
Spoon
gr-
Man?
He's
I don't know
now
what
in
he's doing.
he's now in Hobart.
Have you followed his career?
Yeah, well, I just sort of picked it. I dropped the ball and then picked it back up.
It used to be a good show, like Triple M Nights.
Yeah.
Like sort of call in, like yeah,
I feel like he got a
Spoony.
similar voice almost. Like he had that sort of real sort of
Just
presence.
a deep old school radio.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
fucking
what's on the street?
No, it's definitely Triple M. It's for
Yeah.
people who piss standing up, you know?
Yeah, it's for people that think about football.
Yeah. I could get
almost
into Triple M.
exclusively.
As someone, I mean, I talk about being an alien coming to Shepparton. You know, you're a born and bred
Sheppo.
Sheppo Bmac.
Yeah.
What was it like? There's a lot of talk. We had a segment which was 6 degrees of separation, which actually we tried to make
it
a
have a
connection
sting?
to the Greater Valley. It worked. Lots of people. Yeah, it did. It did have a sting. I've probably still
great.
got it.
Oh,
I'll
perfect.
find it. Anyway, but it was like who has a connection to the GV, the Greater Valleys, Shepparton. Shitloads of people did.
Yeah.
Some great people have come out of there, including you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's a great town. I just love the community about it, really. Like, I see, like, I've obviously made heaps of friends in the city, and a lot of them don't get to catch up with their mates as regularly as I do. So if I go home, I'm always going to see someone I know or run into, you know, this old teacher or person or someone I've worked with. Whereas, like, in the city, I feel like it's a lot harder for people. They just, like, separate and you have, like, 1 or 2 friends. I know friends like who are still home. They catch up with the same like 10 to 20 people every weekend.
Yeah, and
It
you know
blows
what?
my
You
mind.
know everybody in Shepparton though, Bmac. Like
Yeah.
like remember like
You're a
most-
person's people, a people's person.
It's a-
Yeah.
it's a-
You're like a
I like to
liaison.
get
people
I like,
person.
to, I like to be out there. I like to
liaison
be
officer.
friendly with everyone and just get along.
Who's the most successful person out of Shepparton that you know of?
Keeping in
Outside of-
mind Tommy wasn't born in Shepparton.
Yeah. Briggs. Briggs have to be Briggs.
Hey, like it's a tough one. Like there's people in a lot of different industries. So.
I'm not talking about like someone that bought a bunch of real estate sort of agencies. Just like someone it's Briggs.
You
Like
speak
right
about
now,
Carter.
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
right now, it's probably like in our generation. Like I think Steel Sidebottom's done really good. He's the co-captain of Collingwood.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Won a couple premierships and like he's a lord. Like
Briggs too.
yeah, Briggs. He's
You went to-
amazing.
did you
He's
go to
done
school with
heaps.
him?
Nah, I lived around the corner, like pretty much 2 blocks away. He was my brother's year, so a couple years older.
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rapper. He's an actor. He directs.
He's
He's all over the place now. Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
even on Conan. If you're an international viewer of our show, he was on Conan.
He was doing
was,
what?
yeah.
What was he on? Conan
Well,
for?
when Conan came, Conan's been doing his like overseas international trips. Came to Australia and Briggs was fucking there just
That's
showing
amazing.
him how shit's done.
Yeah, I mean, he was also on Tommy and Candy's show.
Oh, that's
Just so
right.
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I nearly said Stace. I'm like, no, it was before.
No, it was Candy.
it was-
Well, actually,
Candy Heads.
yeah, we released the rap video, which was sort of brand damaging for him, being aligned with a rap battle with you.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
Definitely.
we editing that audio, that rap,
So
that
embarrassing.
fake rap.
So, what
So
sort of Cal? What
embarrassed.
sort of preparation would you do for your radio show?
A lot more than Tommy would have done for his. No, as in we like it was like it's one of those things, regional radio, where you do, it's just you basically. You got a content director, but he's not involved really, as Tommy would know. But you just sort of after you get off air at 9 or whatever, 10 o'clock, you just start prepping for the next day, and probably take you till 2 o'clock. And it's just you do it's a fair bit of work to do a regional radio show in terms of a content show. Because there just isn't. I mean, what the fuck? This is like Fox Breakfast over here. I have to say, there's 4 people. There's producers
yeah,
in an
definitely.
airlock at the Daily Talk Show.
We've got more people than there were in the Shepparton office.
There was. That's fucking hell. What the hell's going on here?
Hey, big meeting coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, would you have to do?
Are they allowed to talk? Or
Yeah, we've got a microphone around.
There's a-
So 3D deal. can
There's an,
talk.
I don't know. There's an American here. Where'd you fucking find him? Canadian.
Canadian.
3D deal.
3D deal.
Yes.
Is that because you work in animation or
Give
some
us-
shit?
give
Is
him-
that-
I have a 3D printer.
Can you give him your elevator pitch? I've never asked that question. What's
Okay,
your
yeah.
elevator pitch?
My elevator pitch.
Yes.
Oh, that's
So
tough.
we've just walked into the elevator. Ding.
That's why I don't take the lift.
Level 4, I'm going to. You got 20 seconds. Tell Kel about you because he said, "Oh, g'day, mate. You American?" No, I'm Canadian.
yeah.
What?
He's from Canada.
Canadian.
Yeah, that's my elevator pitch. Oh, geez, I don't know, man. You've thrown me. You've stumped me.
But that's why I've got
We can
you.
start the scene again. Hang
Okay,
on.
all right,
So-
yeah.
Oh,
start the scene again.
just go ding.
Oh, hey, Cal. This is 3D Dill.
Hi, I'm 3D Dill. I'm
No,
a,
I just fucking introduced you already. You don't have to say it
All right,
again.
shut
Okay.
Go, let him go. Keep
I'm
the
a
flow.
Canadian. I'm an industrial design student. I just wrote a book. I've traveled to Australia.
Did you
all on
write a
my
book
own.
about industrial design?
No.
Okay.
Just
about
about
having a 3D printer?
No.
No.
You'll have to read the book to
Okay.
find out.
He's a salesman. That's
like
what
it.
we've
I
worked
like
out.
Yeah.
Moved halfway across the world to work with these girls. So
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
overall, not bad.
That's very cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want to change focus.
Yeah,
There's
it's quite-
like 4 people sitting there quietly.
It's
like,
an intense elevator pitch, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
that
sort
was
of-
really intense.
Yeah, I mean, lifts. I have noticed that I'm actually exercising more. I'm on the 5th level at my apartment, and I will just like way prefer to take the stairs than having to fucking.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't want to have to. Like the other day, how about this? This is something I'd never done before in the lift. I was in the lift and I was coming from level 5, had to go to ground. At level 4, the lift opened and it was people with stuff like furniture and they were moving. And they're like, oh, you just, we'll wait, just keep going. I'm like, no, that's fine. And I walked out of the lift past them and then just went down the stairs.
What? Is
Like
this
so they could then take the couch and stuff in.
Is it a fear of like being in the elevator? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
it's the fear of conversation.
Yes, I was going to say the same-
conversation.
I have the same thing, like, because I've been at the radio station every time, because you can leave just through the fire escape from the top level at Fox, and I prefer to do that because you go straight out
Yeah.
to the street,
The
on
anxiety
McLaren,
escape
as
also.
opposed to just having like an awkward, just quick back and forth with someone I don't know at the station.
Well, imagine, I remember
like just a smile, like, yeah, hi, I don't know you, don't know me. We smile at each other because we know we both work here, and then that's it. Like, what else are you going to do? How are you? There's no time for it. It's like it's 2 levels.
No, I don't. Yeah, the lift in Clarendon Street. I feel like I've had many.
Have you got any quirks like that, BMAC?
No, I was just thinking.
Is there an elevator?
I really hate to live where I live.
Is there an elevator at Unified? There's not. It's just stairs.
Yeah, it's just stairs. Yeah. Just stairs at Unified.
But you can't. What floor are you on? 50th?
40.
40?
Yeah.
Have you been up there?
No, I have not.
It's fucking terrifying. I hate getting on his balcony. It's like, I don't want to go out there.
You've got a bar in your house?
Yeah, we've got a bar now. Yeah.
Yeah, how much extra room have you got? You've got a fucking stuffed toy that's like
that bear.
That bear.
We had to let it go because of the bar.
It
was taking up so much space. Like the bear was huge.
But if you get on the balcony, you look across to what's it called? What Marvel Stadium now?
Yeah.
Like it's terrifying. Like I actually don't like being out there.
Yeah, it's very high. How'd you get the bear? Tell us about this bear.
The bear. Well, taking it back to Shepparton, I went to Shepparton just for a bit of work, and then I came back. And when I came back, my housemate was sort of filming me when I was coming back in. And I was like, this is weird, but like we always film each other on like Snapchat, Instagram. And then I was just like, hey man, blah, blah, blah. And I like go to my room, open the door, and there's this huge bear that's like taken up the whole thing with a bottle of wine in its hand. And it looked like it was passed out on my bed.
Was your housemate nude?
He was in the bed.
He was the bear.
Yeah, he just like, it scared the shit out of me because like I had to open the door, turn on the light, and there's just this huge bear in my bed. And then we just kept it, like we just put it in the corner. And then every time someone come over, they were just so obsessed with this bear. We just kept it in the corner, and people were just taking photos with it.
It's
instead
cute.
Of, like, the view and stuff.
Can you look it up? Costco bear, Costco giant bear. How much does it cost? Find out.
And the thing was, like, there's like a big like shared rubbish space down the bottom, hard rubbish. Mm-hmm. And my housemate found it down there. So we were trying to think of like, what was the story? Maybe like someone broke up with someone, put it down there, dumped it, and then he just took it back up as a joke. And then like he's put it down there. Wonder if it's still in the building.
You've got a whole lot of internationals in your building.
Yeah, there's heaps. Lots of students.
And so maybe they're just buying shit and they're like short term. And they're just like, I got to go. Yeah. Daddy gave me all this cash.
I bought
this fucking ridiculous bear. They're now got a podcast talking about this stupid purchase that they made once.
I could see buying a bear like that.
It's fucking ginormous.
Yeah.
Be a good gift for for a girlfriend or wife.
You got to have a place for it.
Yeah, but
where would you put it?
Oh, I don't know room for it. But like Bernie, you can put it on your balcony.
You wouldn't want it outside, would you?
What did you do with it if you threw it out?
Well, I just got back, and then there was a bar like in the corner, and I was like, "Where'd the bear go?" And he's like, had to get rid of it.
Had to let it go.
You could hook it to like just bolt it to the wall. Like I just hung my TVs, massive effort, put the power out.
Oh, you did
It's like
fucking.
You put the power out.
I drilled into a. You know how you got to find the stud. I drilled into the fucking. Gone.
How'd you feel after it? After you?
The whole fuck. I went back to. Huh? What?
Did you get zapped?
No. But it burnt the shit out of the drill bit.
No.
Like it went black. Like. Yeah.
Did you find out?
Had to get an electrician.
$70 secondhand.
Secondhand? Who buys a secondhand teddy bear?
Yeah.
Who takes it from the dumpster?
What if it's 70 old, you'd have to say it'd be about 270 new.
You'd think.
I spent that much on a small bear that I bought for my ex back like Shep days. Remember that? Did you see I bought a little bear? And that cost me like $70, $60, and it was like like half a human.
In hindsight, waste of money, right?
Yeah. I think I got thrown out at some stage.
I mean, all presents given by exes, like in a relationship that you break up, they're gone.
Nah, she took the jewelry.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, she kept it.
Did she at least melt it down?
Probably.
Sure, yeah.
She kept the jewelry, but she wouldn't take the bear.
Amy, I had this ring, this Tiffany & Co. ring, I really liked it. It was from an ex-girlfriend. It had no sentimental value to me whatsoever. It was just like a silver ring with like a titanium sort of band. It was sick. And I just had it there, and Amy found it. She's like, the fuck's this? Who gave you this? In the early days, she was like, what is this? And then she found also, this was when I was in Shepparton, she also, because she came down from Sydney and stayed at the house while we were at work and shit, and she found some makeup.
I can just imagine you're at work and she's just fucking going through everything.
Yeah, rifling through the drawers.
Nah, I don't think it was like that.
She just found all the G-strings from his stripper days.
So she found this makeup and she was like, "Who the fuck's this makeup?" I can't remember if she even said it to me, but I know.
Did she say fuck? I've never seen her say fuck before.
She swears more now.
Oh, right.
She swears like a trooper now. But I was like, that's my makeup.
Welcome to the world of Tommy Jackett.
I had some makeup just to fucking fix me up. But she thought it was a girl's. It wasn't.
I mean, I feel like I've seen, Kel, a video of you doing like a cross. Like, did you do TV stuff? Like, did you have to do regional TV stuff as well?
We did for the weeknights.
That's right.
The regional. I was trying to think what it's called. Because like there was a Channel 10 or like a whatever the SCA 10.
Yeah. Like the win, whatever.
Whatever the regional 10 that the SCA was running, and they had like a local kind of a current affairs, not current affair, but like stories, I suppose. It was kind of newsy show that came out of Shepparton, and so they asked the radio content team to start doing spots because they needed to fill 30 minutes.
Was that on before we were in Shepparton? Do you remember, Bmac? Like when you were growing up, was there
I don't think there was weeknights. I think that was like something that came in about the time that you guys came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to, I mean, I felt it. I can't blame you for it, but felt a bit of jealousy when I was just looking on Facebook and I just see you fucking having conversations with the new breakfast host in Shepparton. And I was like,
have you been on those shows?
I was like, I feel a bit
Has Stacey started following you back?
Hype Man has.
Can we check in?
Hype Man is on to the new breakfast host. He was on to me when I was there. We became good mates. Comes to my wedding. Josh didn't even come to my wedding.
Did you even know Josh then though?
Yeah,
to be fair, I'd never heard of you before this happened.
Sneak in. I'm like that girlfriend that comes out of nowhere. It's just sort of
there'll be a few of them too, though. I'm sure. But no, like as in, I was like, where like you sort of came out of nowhere, and I was like, who is this guy?
Well, because we were always working, like
because you worked
actually.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, no, we actually met each other for the very first time. Would have been 2009.
No follow, guys. I'm going to start on following and following. It's my second.
Maybe one more.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so Monash O Week, 2009.
Wow.
I was filming for this company, and Tommy was the presenter.
Is that how far back it went? Wow.
So that's how. But then there was like no contact, right? We just did, do the shoot, and that was it. Was
one and done.
Yeah. But then I guess like TJ is one of those people who just similar. I think Bmac's got a similar vibe where they're just sort of fucking everywhere, just sort of popping up.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they're both social butterfly types. Yeah.
And so TJ would always be in I think when I was working at Fifi and Jules in digital content, TJ, you would have been doing, must have been on the back end of doing.
Shepparton?
No, not Shepparton. I reckon you were Street Team. Did you ever do Street Team?
Yeah, I did a bit of Street Team.
Yeah. And you would have been coming in seeing Jules or whatever.
You were doing like Triple M.
I did Triple M.
Like red carpet shit.
Yeah. What do they call me? Man about town. The
man on the street.
Yeah. The man on the street.
But we reconnected probably 2015, 2016, and it was just I was probably one of those friends where it's like the start of our proper friendship was when like his wedding was happening and all that sort of thing. So I'm sure we would have been on the phone.
Were you at the wedding?
No,
I wasn't there.
Okay, to be honest, because I've met some people, well, at least one that like after the wedding that were like, I was there, and I was like, and I felt really bad. But I probably like there was a lot of people there.
Shit out, Kel. That's fucking one of the worst I know.
It's not good.
Yeah, social butterflies have feelings too, mate. And I see this guy fucking just chatting away with Josiah, and I'm just.
Is that the new Brecky show?
Yeah.
So what's the deal, mate? What's this about?
Are you on there? Are you on there frequently, Bmac? What's going on?
Not on there as frequently as I was on.
Yeah.
Tommy and Candy.
Yeah. I mean,
what about
fucking looked
Tommy
after
Tommy and Stacey?
Yeah.
You would have got
Tommy and Stacey. No, I don't know. I don't even know who that girl is.
He'll talk when she follows. He'll talk when she follows. Let me just check.
I definitely don't have a follow from her. Like I'm almost certain. But
nothing. Nothing.
But yeah, no, Josiah. He's an alright guy, but. So I work at a record label in the city, and his best friend's best friend also works there. And then randomly he was like, "Do you know the new radio host in town?" I was like, "No, really." He's like, "My friend's in Shep, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Hook him up." So I made a phone call. It was like Saturday night. And then like he couldn't believe it because this like whole tray of drinks, like 12 drinks and 12 shots just like came out. And I was like, "Enjoy your night." I was like, "Tell them to enjoy their night." And they called me back straight away and they were like, "What the? Like, thanks so much, blah, blah, blah." And that's where it all started.
I can't be pissed off. He's got me that many free drinks in my life.
Yeah, so many.
It's a big currency.
Door entry.
It's a little
So much
currency,
GB
yeah.
hotel drinks. Yeah, she follows your brother.
Oh,
Jacko.
he's really
she follows
rubbing
the, she
this
follows
on.
the
Yeah.
she follows the Daily Talk Show. So you're basically there,
Oh,
but
yeah.
probably just because of Josh.
I mean, to be honest, I never fucking cared. I'm not offended. I don't care at all.
No,
I don't
no,
see
just
the
I haven't even thought about it until
Yeah.
you brought it up, and now I'm
Is it
intrigued.
productive?
Well, I don't know. So Josh found it.
Yeah.
Which- and
I
then-
do it. And see, this, I end up looking like the fucking idiot amongst the whole thing because I was the one that uncovered
You
it.
discovered it because I only recently discovered that, and I love her, so she's not going to mind. But Trace unfollowed me,
Yeah.
and then I had a look because I thought maybe it's just me, but it's you.
Me.
It's Wally. Just anybody connected to Shepparton.
I mean, hurt people, as Josh says.
Yeah.
The radio
It's not my
shows, the
saying.
different ones you saw come up
Yeah.
throughout your years living in Shepparton, because there's probably a higher turnover of regional radio presenters than there is Melbourne shows, Melbourne Breakfast Show. 10 years, Matt and Joe,
Yeah.
Tracy and Matt, and
Yeah.
what was your observation about the Gronks that rolled into town?
Yeah, like I think the turnover was so crazy, but like everyone who came through Shepparton seems to be doing well. Like it's a big like stepping stone, I guess, in terms of your career. Like you hustle it out for like a couple years there or a year and you move on. That's what I always felt, especially with news reporters. Like everyone at like Win News is like doing amazing things now. But yeah, like with radio, it was kind of like 1 year, 2 year stints. Like you really wouldn't see them.
What about the
stay
people
around
like actually integrating into those towns?
Yeah. Like some are really good. Some were like you were good. Like there was people who were good. Like if you talk to them, but I feel like a lot of them were just like a bit scared of the locals or something, or a bit scared to go out. They wanted to. I guess they moved their whole lives, and if they did come from Melbourne, they were only a 2-hour trip away, so they go home. Whereas Josiah, just to bring him up, he's from Sydney. So like he's playing at a local soccer team. He's doing like some other things like within the community. I think that's because he's got further to travel.
Yeah,
as well.
he's from Sydney or something.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
from-
it's not
yeah,
that
that's
I'd
the
Were
thing.
you
know.
in a
you're-
sporting team? I mean, you were playing frisbee with
the gym,
Kel.
the gym
Yeah.
and shit though. Like I got into
You went to a gym.
Yeah.
the people there, that community. Like who's the Jackie? Like all of the people that worked at
Jackie Burns.
Jackie Burns' brother
Yeah.
plays.
What about the
footy for-
kebab
Burn,
place?
yeah.
The,
the
boys.
kebabs? And so
Kebab
you kind
boys.
of you leverage those.
Yeah.
You leverage the job to go and meet the people. If you're not a people's person, like if we didn't drink, I don't think we would have met half the people.
Well,
We're out.
we planned to go to every bar / pub. I don't think we actually did it,
Nah,
but
you know,
How many fucking bars and pubs are there?
there's more than you'd think.
dude?
More
Yeah,
than
there's
6?
lots. Yeah.
Yeah, there's there's lots. There's more than we ended up going to the same places just because we ended up getting free drinks. But
What's the population?
Greater.
30, 40?
Nah, it's 50
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Greater
Is it
Shepparton.
that
Yeah,
much?
like
Okay.
60.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, no.
Greater Shepparton population, Mr. 97.
It's it's interesting. The do the locals understand national shows versus local shows? Like, is there any locals
think
that
so.
actually think that Hamish and Andy are
Yes.
fucking doing in the same studio as Tommy? And
that happened from what I understand before our time. But Will told us, our CD, that there would be some Shep locals that would come in and be like, "Is Hamish and Andy here?" And because they're coming out of the, it's like it's Shepparton radio.
What
They're on.
did you think, back in primary school, like in high school?
I think, my dad was in journalism, so I was like, always kind of knew that, the big guys weren't there.
Saw behind the curtain.
Yeah, but like to me, and this brings it back to like you and the community and stuff, like people who were on the radio were like kind of like famous in our town. And I still think kids like think they are as well. And especially with like social media and stuff these days, like it's like, oh, that's that guy off the radio. That's that girl off the radio. Because like, yeah, like they're on the radio every day. You hear them going to school, going home and stuff like that. So like I think there was this bit Shep-lebrity sort of life
Yeah.
about these radio hosts that come into town.
Yeah, remember Joel Crean had a fucking billboard like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
some backwater of Shepparton, but he still had a billboard.
He was the host of that weeknights TV show.
He was.
Spoke to Joel Crane today, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you still keep in contact with him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, Joel Crean, if you're listening.
Yeah.
I like
Told
that
him
guy.
you're coming on the show.
Did you?
Today. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't follow me.
Can't believe how much we're talking about Shep.
No, this is what the Weekend Banter. This is
Love
what
it.
it's about.
Well, when you said come in and then you're like Bmac, I'm like, yeah, it's all going to be about Shepparton. Because I'm not fucking from there. Like,
nor am I, mate.
But Tommy still talks about it. I mean, how much has Tommy changed from Shepparton to now? What do you guys? What's the progress? What's the change with Tommy? Do you think progress
How nice
might not
to
be
have
the
to be.
might not be the right word? Progress.
I don't know. It's as in he's pretty much the same guy. He drinks less,
Lot less.
a lot less drinking. So I guess that's progress of a kind. He's probably more mature. He's married. He's got a kid. All those things that come with. I mean, there's nothing like he wasn't like shooting heroin or anything. And now he's turned over a new leaf. He was he's basically the same guy. Oh, he's still into fitness, aren't you, Tej?
Yeah. Yeah. Into it.
We have people who listen. Like we're on radio today, like the fucking industry sites a few months ago, and so we've gained a few listeners who are hosts in regional towns. They've got a show. What was your perspective of being in a regional town, and now where you are now? What's your view on the whole thing?
Well, I worked in a couple of regional stations before. So my first commercial radio gig was Tamworth, which is like regional New South Wales, inland New South Wales.
What's Tamworth known for?
The Country Music Festival.
The big
that's
guitar.
right, yeah.
Has he got a big guitar?
Yeah, big golden guitar. I had a shot out of that.
Yeah.
A photo in front of that before I left. But it's actually we've talked a lot about Shep, and let's talk about Tamworth for a bit.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a really cool town, a lot of live music. They've got their own sort of identity. So I had fun there. I spent a couple of years there.
Did you have to be a music guy? Like, I feel like if you go into one of those areas, you have to be all about the music.
I actually started gigging, doing some weekends and stuff on and off when I was up there because I met a few musos and I've played music sort of all my life. But that's it. No, you don't have to be a music guy to sort of be in radio. But there is a lot of it's their identity in many respects. Good town. But then me and my co-host got moved to Wollongong and we were there for about a year and then we got moved. Obviously,
Same
to
company
Shep.
throughout the whole thing?
No, so it was
Wave
Super,
FM.
Yeah, Super Radio Network, and then what's Wave Grant Broadcasting.
And so how do you actually jump ship? Is it that you fucking lose a job and then find another one, or do you have companies saying, "Hey, we like what you're doing. Will you come across?"
No, I think we sent demos. Me and Wal sent some demos out from Tamworth because I was ready to. I mean, this is the thing. So far away from Melbourne, so far away from home in Tamworth, and then like you stay there, you can't get home. Like the closest kind of beach is like Newcastle, which is 3 hours away.
So Shepparton must be like hitting the lottery if you're a Melburnian in regards to regional
Well,
options.
I thought it was when I first got the call that we are going to move. Like I was like, well, at least I can go home because it was so far away from home. It was really good. So I did go back probably too much really, and got a bunch of speeding fines. But yeah, every weekend I was back there. But yeah, you sort of send demos out, and I mean, you would know, but yeah, you sort of hope for the best, and hopefully someone thinks you sound all right and puts you on another show.
Well, getting jobs while you have jobs is a weird thing because
it
you've
is.
got to be using company time to
We were talking
get a
about
job.
that the other day with someone, Dan Ellick, who's a great media personality. He was working at Al Jazeera. There was a story, an article about it where he was going for another job, did his fucking demo in the studio using the equipment, which I reckon we've all fucking done a version of that, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
he lost his job.
quick story. me and Wal, when we were my co-host, when we were in Wollongong at Wave FM, and we hated it and we wanted out, and so we needed a studio, and they monitor the Wave. I mean, whatever they're doing now, they might be different, but Wave FM was recording, security, in terms of getting in there after hours and recording a demo, and we sort of couldn't get an opportunity to get a demo together that we really wanted.
It's so fucking weird though, because it's the industry that you're in, isn't it?
I
It's like,
know.
what do they expect? You're going to be like,
Well, it was a bad scene up there. We weren't loving. I don't think I'm talking out of school. Our experience personally, I'm sure it's been great for everyone else.
No, they were fucked.
Yeah, they've been great. But so we had to drive back. We got some interest from Triple M, as in the content guys in Melbourne. in terms of getting us into the network somehow. So we thought, well, how are we going to do this? We ended up driving back to Tamworth over a weekend and recording demos at night time at the old radio station in Tamworth.
Because they liked you.
Getting something together and sending it off to Fitzy at Triple M. And then we got asked to do another one, so we ended up driving back.
I know.
So we drove it was like 4 hours. You
Do
know,
you like driving?
One way. No, I hated it, especially with Wal. It was like, God, enough. No, but yeah, so it was like a massive. It was at that time a massive effort to sort of get some runs on the board and get some demos together. Right now, I think I don't know how we went to that much effort to do it, but at the time we were desperate to get out of Wollongong. We thought that was the only way we could do it. We thought to get interest from SCA was a good thing, so. Yeah, we did everything we could, and it was like the best way we could get enough studio time to sort of craft something. And so we did it like midnight to like 4 a.m.
Jeez, and then drove straight back.
And then drove. Yeah, we stayed the night, and then because we had some friends in Tamworth, and and he was friends while we're still friends with the manager, and he let us in and didn't tell anybody else that we were there. Yeah, so we were kind of there in secret.
You and Wal now have a podcast, the Poser Podcast.
That's right. Yeah, the Poser Podcast. Check it out. It's on Spotify.
Yeah. What's the difference? Is it a different muscle going from doing radio to doing podcasting?
Yeah, totally. As I think you would both know. You talk about the things you kind of have to talk about, and it's kind of very limited and structured with any commercial radio station.
And now you're talking political. What is it? Politics, sex,
and religion. That was the reason we called it Poser. Obviously, it deviates from that, but that was kind of the original idea. We both sort of. I'm not particularly politically minded, but we both kind of we wanted to discuss slightly heavier issues, things that you never kind of would ever chat about on any commercial radio.
Is that almost harder? Like I feel like sometimes opening it up, not having the restrictions when you can start talking about everything. Do you start actually working your own limitations? Like, fuck, we can talk about this thing now, but I actually can't be fucked like entering into it.
Sometimes I feel like certain things are a little bit draining. And also because it's just left to us, and you two would obviously know, you kind of battle with each other a little bit in terms of what you think's important, the kind of guests that you might want to have on. And, it's just a small little podcast, but, we've had guests that I was like, really, what are they bringing to the table? All of them I've loved, don't get me wrong, but beforehand, it's like, and so it's like, I'm not going to die on this hill, but
that's why you just do lots of them. Cause then, I've thought that at times, but then if you look at it, everyone has something to say. Everyone is, there's something interesting about most people.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm really interested in people, and I would like to think I'm a conversationalist, so I...
You're a people's person.
Yeah, I'm a people person. So I think everyone's got their own story, and I like to get that out of them, and I like to, the freedom to have an open, long-form conversation, it's super fun to me.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy it.
Which is the opposite of radio.
Long form. And compared to sort of, I'm like a workday jock, just work weekends, whatever, just doing music shifts for a radio station in Melbourne. That's 30-second grabs. That's basically saying that, there's tickets up for grabs and that Bieber's 15 minutes away. So, and there's an art to that as well, but obviously it's not really the same thing.
Is there a place for regional radio as a mechanism to be a broadcaster, do you think? Or like if you were having your day again in 2019, would you go straight to the Poser Podcast, or would you be doing, going to Tamworth?
Oh, no.
Do we have a follow, by the way?
Nothing,
nothing yet. We're just checking on the Stacey June follow.
How would you do that if this was a news thing? Because I started listening to an audiobook about radio. If you had to report on that, you would have to say... like no official
interrupt
reports,
this break for interrupt this.
Yeah, we've got breaking news. Stacey June has followed back.
Well, we have reports. Have we got confirmation yet? We've got reports.
We've got no confirmation
until we actually have anyone from the.
I was on the like train, just like.
Have you just been just hitting the likes?
Like. No,
just go back real creepy and get back from 2013. Just hit the old
I reckon
photos.
I'll like last couple of photos.
Not to get sidetracked, I would do it differently if I had my time again, Josh. I think I was super green, super naive when I first, as everyone is when you get into, and as everyone just said, you've got to go regional, you've got to get some hours in if you want to be on air and all the rest of it, and. Look, there's still, I'm not saying don't do it, and if you want to be on, there's only limited opportunities to be on air, but realistically, I would, I'd try. I'd join the street team, at wherever in Melbourne if I had my time again, and I'd start a podcast and I'd do content off my own bat, and I'd stay in Melbourne because I think it speaks to. This is honestly what I believe. I'm saying if you have an opportunity to go, wherever. I'm not saying don't do it, but I feel like it was a lot of time wasted regionally.
So potentially what you're saying is you'd be better off taking a sideline role like a digital content producer in a metro market than
I think it's
on
important
air.
to get in the door.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because you're in the door because you're in their face, they know who you are, as opposed to sending just a random email account sends you, hey mate, can you ever listen to this? This is my last break from Friday. And, as much everybody's doing that, and as much as in theory, it's a good idea, and in theory, they should want to help you and want to listen. It doesn't mean as much as actually, having contact with someone, knowing their name, knowing their face, being able to have a conversation with them and saying, "Hey, have a listen to this." It means a lot more.
Person, how are you?
Well, do you guys have residual fans like now? Like, because you move on from market to market. Is your Instagram or social media?
There's like a few Tamworth and no Wollongong. We didn't develop any fans in Wollongong, but there's certainly a few Tamworth.
Are they doing surveys? Like, do you get like in regional areas? You're getting fucking
Wollongong got surveyed, but they're a competitive market. Whereas regional gets surveyed. Like Shepparton gets surveyed, but it's kind of like.
If I doubt
once every 4 years.
doubt the survey in metro markets, I highly doubt the surveys in fucking regional towns in terms of actually understanding who's listening.
I genuinely don't know what it means. I remember sitting there and they're reading out all these numbers for like, Shepparton's come up. I'm like, but no one else is like, what's it, the ABC?
They actually partnered with the Jehovah's Witness who would knock on doors.
Would they really? That's not a fucking bad idea.
Yeah, I know.
It's solid.
Just 2 for 1, Jehovah and the old mates over here.
Yeah.
You, Bmac, have what I love about you, we spent some great arvos drinking beers and just talking shit and listening to music. We
did.
You have a great knack for seeing people who are about to pop.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is it about that?
I don't know. I think it was just being like in a regional area and not getting the opportunity myself with different things from sport to music.
Oh, tell us about when you hit up DJ Snake. Along with being the hype man, he's also the greatest hype man for himself, infiltrating people's fucking inner sanctums.
Yeah, I can even hardly remember what happened, but it was like way before he blew up.
This DJ Snake, he's huge.
Yeah, he pretty much has changed the game of like pop music in the last like 4 years, 5 years. Just in terms of the sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, like ages ago he was on like SoundCloud and I was following him and I'm just like, this is the craziest sounds like I've heard in such a long time. It was so unique.
How are you seeking that stuff out? Like, are you actually actively, what do you type in?
Sometimes I'm just like, it just trends. Like it just follows your algorithm. Like you might like someone and it'll just be like, it'll suggest listen to this person and it'll get you onto this. And sometimes like they'll only have like, a couple hundred followers, but like it'll just somehow find it for you. If not, like I'm searching for music myself, just like trending, seeing who's getting or who's working with someone over here. Or I know that like all the musicians who work together, it's like, oh, that's not just Justin Bieber who wrote that song. So I'll go through and I'll find out who wrote it. Then I'll go through that and I'll figure out what songs they wrote and
or who they're following
it.
on SoundCloud or
things like that. So
not Stacey June.
yeah, you just get in these.
This is horrible. This is
Because she needs to be following me.
She doesn't follow me either. She follows Josh. I don't think she follows Bmac.
I don't even know
popped,
who she
guys.
is.
She knows she picks talent.
Is
She
it
wins.
because, is it, I think she probably thinks
It's
you've got
I'm not
legs.
Shepparton. Well, I don't have the Shepparton.
The stink on you.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Stink is such a. That
You
was
think
the
she's
word
trying
you
to
used.
distance? No, I'm not.
I mean, you're
saying,
telling
do you think she's
stories
trying
at this
to
moment, guys. How about we don't tell stories and we just bring it down to a mistake?
That she's, you mean the reason that she's not following you?
Yeah.
That's a mistake by
Yeah,
her.
it just happened to, doing a bit of a Carl. Whoops.
Nah, don't reckon.
So that's the story. It serves me better.
You're very good at not telling stories.
I don't
yeah.
need to. I don't need to.
Do you
Anyway,
not divulge too much into your own?
never. Actually, never. Like, I never. I mean, you're the guy that tells me, like, I end up doing it because of you. But I
it's
literally.
my
Like
fault,
you don't
man.
share much of yourself, like in terms of your personal.
I think since the podcast,
sorry, what do you
I
mean?
think that's changed.
I thought you meant just like look into my social, like look into who's following who?
No. I'm talking about what you divulge on the show.
Oh, shitloads.
Yeah, that's what I was
This
going to
is
say. You know, so when you say don't tell stories,
No,
so the
no.
story-
Stories. You're telling a story because we don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
We don't know
We've-
what
we've
stage
asked-
it's
we
reached
don't know
in.
why she doesn't follow
And so
you.
right now, what you guys are storytelling to serve a narrative.
What you
whatever
mean?
that is.
What you mean?
We're creating
we're
drama.
speculating.
Yeah.
Which
is it what you mean?
We tell everything is a story. We're telling our stories about fucking this junkie walking towards me. What it all means.
How do you feel?
Seriously?
How do we feel
He's probably
about
looking for more junk. I'd say.
what
Yeah,
about
that's a story?
as a way of turning it positive?
Yeah.
What about if all of our listeners, Stacey's got a great podcast,
Oh,
the Stacey
yeah,
June
love
Show.
that.
Yes.
How about this? What about if you follow Stacey June
Yeah.
on Instagram
Just
And then-
STACEYJUNE.
and just say came here from
Tommy
at
Jackett.
Tommy Jackett?
Yeah. Tommy Jackett sent me here.
Yeah, I think it probably is a mistake. I don't want to get further into this, but I'm sure
Hey,
it is.
shitty story. Fuck. You're looking guilty because
No,
your story's changing over here,
I
mate.
think I think
No,
this
I
is
appreciate it. But I wonder if there's going to be like algorithms or shit to be able to find people who pop. Like you work at a record label.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can, the SoundCloud thing, the finding the producer, the young kid, the
feels
fucking
like the
Martin
charts
Garrix.
it like homogenizes the whole thing though in some ways. Like from a Spotify point of view, it's like we're all going to be fucking listening to the same sort of shit because we're going to be all in the same sort of
Yeah, it's even-
algorithms maybe. I don't
Even
know.
like beyond like just music platforms, it's like just say Instagram. Like you'll see people in the top, and it's like, oh, why is that person in the top? And you'll click on that, and it's like it's how 6ix9ine blew up pretty much. And there's all these artists like that are blowing up off TikTok who are making like 30-second.
Can you explain
15
TikTok?
It's pretty much just like, do you remember Vine?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much like Vine, but with music and videos, and people just trend on certain like verses or hooks, and they'll just do their own dance to it, or create like a little film out of it. And artists are like starting to like get paid off TikTok, like they're getting paid off Instagram where you can put their music on now. So like TikTok is really like blowing up. Like it's the 4th biggest app in the world. And so if you're like trending on TikTok, like you're going to have like a platinum single. Like,
Should we be on TikTok?
get on TikTok.
No.
Like,
What-
yeah, you should
does
be.
a- does a
Like,
podcast
if
get
you,
on
if you get
TikTok?
on
Yeah.
TikTok, like you'll be ahead. Like Australia's still so far behind, but like if you're there now, like you can still go.
Because I've seen like videos
It's
of
not
they
too
do.
late. It's not too late to
So
TikTok.
it's early. Okay. Because I did like they do the videos where it's like, oh, my first day in Australia. Oh, g'day, how you going? And it's like 4th day in Australia. G'day, cunts. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's
It seems easy comedy in some
but
regards.
it's effort. There's complexity.
Mate, we
in
do
the
this
easy.
fucking
Definitely,
7
yeah.
days a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know.
mean,
We could
fuck.
do a TikTok a day.
Yeah, you can do a TikTok a day.
Far out.
Can you do
adding
that?
more
Get on it.
shit. No, adding
Get
more.
on
You know
it.
what? I'd prefer.
You've
so
got
if
to
we're-
look for TikTok. I
I
don't.
don't know. I've not heard of this until you mentioned it just then.
Oh, really?
TikTok.
TikTok.
I feel like I'm super
It's
out
sort
of
of a
this.
current affair did a
behind.
a current affair did a current affair talked about it the other day.
Tracy Grimshaw.
Yeah,
She got TikTok?
no, but the pedophiles love it.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is it
Yeah.
that? It's become that.
because
Yeah.
you probably get young boys and girls fully doling up doing fucking little.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It was
So
crazy.
fast.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
even
it's
think that.
is it an app? So I'm sorry to be
But
so
young,
ignorant.
so
but
young people doing
is it exclusively just young people?
yeah, either young or extremely old, not really in between.
But it's an app on your phone. And,
It's an app
and
on
you,
your
and
phone.
everyone follows you like they follow Instagram, and they just load up little
Yeah.
quick
Correct.
Insta
Yeah.
story kind of thing.
But it's surrounded around music. So
Yeah.
I think it would musically.
But that's like a
which was now
karaoke
taken-
thing,
Yeah.
right? Is it?
Nah, because there's no talent. Well, no.
Well, there's no
backtrack.
talent in
There's
karaoke
No, but rather than using their singing voice, it's all miming, and so there is a layer of attractiveness that hot people do well on TikTok because it's like how
Hot people will do well on Instagram.
Just like hot people did well on Instagram.
Yeah.
Now they've gotten rid of the likes.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to have an impact on?
Look, I can still see them. I don't
Can you?
care about other people's likes other than when I was.
Yeah, I've never
when I'm
given a shit
doing-
either.
When I'm doing
but
sort of-
ours.
Yeah, you care about yours.
exactly. That's why you can still see your own. So I don't know the real problem. Other than I would look for high liked content because I'm trying to work out just what everyone's fucking thinking.
I
about
think
something, but I don't.
I think it'll make it a more genuine, organic, like in terms of the content that's being liked. I think it'll make it more genuine as opposed to people being influenced by the amount of likes that something gets.
So what's the mind state of the person who is posting because they want other people to see the amount of likes they get?
Yeah, it's
What is
like
that?
crazy narcissism, like
Which we all are.
yeah, we're all
Yeah.
narcissists for
But,
sure.
Maybe I'm.
It's the level of success that a post has. It's
Maybe the
what's the
disconnection is.
point?
I
Who's
actually
it for?
feel
What's
it
it
for
for?
me when I see the fucking number for myself. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking, oh yeah, fucking how good's this going to look on other people?
No, but as in anybody, I think a lot of people are influenced by the fact, like if you see Selena Gomez post something and it's got, I don't know, 300, 400, 500,000 million likes or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that the idea that you'd be so like disconnected for like 200 or 300 likes, crazy, like huge numbers.
but the
1,000,
million.
200, 300, yeah, 1,000.
She's got about 80 million followers or something fucking outrageous.
She was she's more than that. It's she's 150, 155.
How many
She was the
97?
most followed, and then it was I keep up to date with this. The Cristiano Ronaldo was the most followed, and I
yeah.
think it might even be
Messi.
might
No.
be there might be a Kardashian in there.
I tell you a
Wow.
weird one. Vin Diesel was like one of the biggest Facebook pages of all time for a long time.
That's weird.
What's
Yeah,
the thing
weird,
that people go to pubs and they do questions,
Trivia.
trivia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, what's the actual name? Is it trivia? No, it's
like
trivia.
pub trivia.
Yeah. I feel like you'd be great at trivia.
Maybe.
The frisbee thing. That's a
Yeah,
fucking great
I
fact.
I looked that up because we wanted to, like, I don't know, somehow I was like, we should do a video about the origins of frisbee. So I did
But
some
then
research.
you know
but as a,
all the like you sort of where it's Instagram, like who's
Yeah.
got the
But that's-
TikTok thing
that's-
is a blind spot for you, but
it is. That's just like radio content, like as in just a quick, how if you're doing a music shift, you
Yeah.
need however many breaks, and you've got to
Yeah.
have a little tidbit each time.
This guy
So-
has so much fucking general knowledge around music, and I was saying the other day, what's something that we should know? What's something that you've identified, Bmac, of recent?
Recent.
while you think about that, the Taylor Swift thing that's happening at the drama at the moment.
Yeah, that's the perfect example. What's going on there?
with Scooter.
Yeah, with Scooter, your boy Scooter. Do you know about this?
Yeah, I know about it.
Doesn't want to comment.
Yeah,
It's all too
Bruh, Scooter's
close.
my boy. I was
Are you staying out of it? Eh?
yeah, I don't want this to get back to Taylor or Scooter.
Right,
No.
right.
But the thing is, like with that, like
Are you happy to enter
Taylor
into the
knew,
Stacey June drama?
Like, so the
Pick your fights.
yeah,
I'm just checking, guys.
Also, do we have an update on that?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Cool.
yeah. I think with like the whole Taylor Scooter thing is like it's so crazy for her to say that she didn't know about this deal about Scooter buying the rights to her music, the publicity, because she's so big and like she definitely knew like deals over like 10K are important to an artist because at one stage you never had money.
Mhm.
So like if this deal's worth like, 50, $100 million, like you're going to know about it before it's happened.
And
Stars,
people are
gossip,
talking.
But it's
scandal,
not.
the
But it's,
dirt.
sorry,
The
go on.
dirt.
No, go on. I was just doing a sting.
But so the fact that her dad also knew, her dad was a part of he owned part of the record label, so he would have been making money from that.
Yeah.
Taylor
sale.
Swift's dad
Yeah.
knew. So in terms of the masters, I mean, it's not uncommon for people not to own their masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually
What was that? Sorry, what is it?
their master, like their master tracks, like the original
Recordings.
recording track. The label usually owns that, and they take a piece of everything, and that's how it's always worked up until more recently. Like an example, Metallica is one of the few sort of big stadium rock acts that actually went and got their masters back, bought them off, and started their own label. So they take 100%
Yeah.
of it.
Another
about-
good fact.
What about the Rolling Stones guy? Mick Jagger and that allowed that guy who wrote that track
Yeah, that was
to get his song back because
yeah,
they
with
were gonna-
Bittersweet Symphony from The
Bitter-
Verve. Yeah.
Bittersweet.
You and I, we don't know the facts, but we know the prompter for the
Fuck
facts.
yeah, fuck yeah.
There was a guy and the other guy. and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing
yeah. But that's why
happened.
these guys
Yeah.
come in.
No.
What happened there?
So the Verve, they took, they bought the riff from. I think it was the song was the last time from the Stones. It was just a riff that they used, and they used an orchestrated riff in their song "Bittersweet Symphony," and it went number one, that song, when it was, I don't know, late 90s or something, maybe earlier than that. And after it went number one, Rolling Stones eventually litigated and took them to court and argued that even though they'd allowed them to take the riff, they didn't allow them to take the orchestrated riff. So they were a very early. It was a very they were a very young band, and they effectively legally rolled over and gave them the entire rights to that song. Yeah. So they own 100% of all the revenue that comes from that song.
So that's Rolling Stones.
So,
So Rolling Stones are cunts, basically.
Yes, and apparently, from what I understand, they even accepted the award for that song at a couple of.
Fucking ridiculous!
Like Mick and Keith got up and
then they recently, it's like, Mick and Keith are giving it back. They've given him back, and so it actually charted. It went to number one or something.
Yeah,
because everyone was like, let's fucking get it up there again because he's got it back. It's a great day. And
the lead singer is apparently quite like, it kind of ruined them. Like he was quite burnt about it, and it was quite a saga.
The idea of being sued in general. I'm just so glad I'm not being sued right now.
Doesn't happen as much.
Would there be anything? What would someone might sue you for?
Defamation.
Yeah, definitely defamation.
Exactly.
It was following the whole time.
You might cop an unfollow out of this, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck, you might.
Are you risking? That's
the thing that I'm.
No, but she's going to get a bunch of followers from the Gronk squad.
Yeah, she will.
That's right.
I'd follow her if I wasn't already following.
But I think you could argue with the Rolling Stones thing. It's like, we just expanded their thing. You could put a positive spin on what was.
I don't think no one's going to be sued. The thing about suing people is it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so unless you got someone bankrolling it, the famous lawsuit against Hulk Hogan sued the radio station. No, they sued Gawker.
Yeah.
Took down Gawker.
But that was gone.
Peter Thiel allegedly, because he'll probably sue us.
Is he from PayPal?
He's the founder along with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire dude. Anyway.
Yeah, no, he's the one that took him down.
Yeah. Gawker released
because they exposed that of his orientation, right?
Well, that's why, because they were that's why they said that he was pissed.
He had a vendetta against him.
The thing. So he wasn't they weren't getting sued because Gawker called Peter Thiel gay.
No,
it was because
Peter was pissed about it.
Peter was pissed and has money, and so my point is, if you have money,
don't piss off a billionaire.
You could sue anybody if you had a heap of cash.
Well, you can take
horrible,
but the interesting thing was he wasn't being. It wasn't like Peter Thiel was suing them. Peter Thiel was supporting someone who could sue, like Hulk Hogan, who could, which is fascinating.
But it's like when you think about, our legal system might not be that different. I suppose realistically, if you've got enough money, you can manipulate it to your will, the legal system. So
you could say that someone's done something, build a case against it.
If it's like a slanderous comment or a libel,
100%.
Yeah.
I wonder if podcasting, whether that shit's going to become more common. I mean, all our episodes are transcribed, so you could go on you could Google something and find some shit that we've said that we don't even believe now, but upset someone.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't actually know. I probably should. I don't actually know what the law is in terms of what you can just sort of rattle off on a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably have more of a sensibility around allegedly using that term in what you talk about.
Yeah, any time that anyone's brought something, I've tried not to be like say anything that will come back to me.
I mean, we've all got angry about George Pell, used his name. The pedophile.
I haven't used his name once.
I haven't?
We did a whole podcast on George Pell.
That's what I'm saying. He's a fucking
We can say it now, can't you?
Yeah. Well, Darren Hinch, I mean, that was
went to jail for
naming the pedophile. It's a real crazy. That's a bit of a crazy law, but I suppose it's in place to protect
the innocent based on you're innocent until proven.
Yeah.
But it's also it's also to. If they want to build a case and do all that sort of shit, it's got to go through the right processes. Otherwise, people just, based on your media status, you can fucking get people in jail and shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting though.
A few criminals out of Shepparton.
Where's the closest jail?
Durringar.
Yeah. It's like
Did you go up there?
Community, like more easy one.
No, I mean it's
like
jail.
a hipster prison.
It's like where people go for like tax evasion.
It's also where people go at the back end of their sentence. If they got 15 years, they actually end up there.
It's like a
Didn't
halfway
you go
house?
meet a mate, Jacket, when
Yeah,
you were
I went
up there?
I went up and visited a dude in jail there.
Yeah.
And it's still fucked. I mean, but they can run away because the whole thing is you're trying to rehabilitate back into the system. That's their thought.
Into society.
Yeah. Some people don't think rehabilitation is possible.
I watched a doco where they in the US they make number plates. Is that how our number plates are made? Do you know?
They do shit. They're like sewing. There's like you get jobs in jail. I mean, when none of us have ever been to jail, but I know my friend was working. You make a bit of cash. Yeah, he does. I mean, fucking the
Knock
guilty.
wood.
The guy closest to actually going to jail knocks on wood. Hey, Mac, what have you done?
What did you
I'm
do?
not needing to knock on wood because I'm not doing shit.
Yeah.
And
What
this
have you
isn't
done,
even
son?
fucking
I don't
wood.
know.
This
I was
is
just
a-
thinking about jail. I was like, shit, bro.
Have you
I don't want to go.
any mates you went to school with gone to jail?
Yes. One.
It's a bit of a showstopper, isn't it? That question in some ways.
Well, I want to know more. That's why I
BMAC
ask
doesn't want to say anymore though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Ain't no snitch, man.
I mean, you got one of the
Snitches get
greatest.
stitches.
You got one of the greatest snitches
My-
in
He's actually a
Melbourne.
really big fan of this show,
Yeah.
so I can't, like, you know.
My favourite number is 000. I'm very I'm the reason why they're doing that big campaign at the moment. 131 If you don't need the sirens,
Don't fucking call 000.
they've had a bunch of people just fucking, social
that-
media's down. and
is
they
that
call-
about like are they expecting people to just call the police station? As
Yeah, but
opposed to
it's basically I
calling
think,
emergency. But you wouldn't know if you needed like.
I think part of it is like, so say if you got broken into, you don't
You
need
come back to your
sirens.
car and there's a smash window. You don't need to call 000.
Oh yeah, no, I
But
understand.
people
But is it
Gronks
call
do.
emergency?
Gronks call emergency.
Yeah, my brother's a paramedic. People call. He went out to a call because someone couldn't get his shoes off. I'm not fucking around.
and about how
then
long
there's
was he
somebody in a
trying
car
for?
accident bleeding to death, and they've got to go to this fucking first call.
Yeah.
Oh my god! On the way here, I was driving.
This could
and
go
I
either
was
way.
down- I'm going to jail. I was driving down Bridge Road, and then like this Deliveroo driver like stopped in front of this other scooter, and there's two guys on a scooter behind him, like together, and they just like full skidded in front of my car, like fell on the like road and crashed.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh shit! Like, I had my phone down there, and I was like checking directions of how to get here, and like this scooter like come and like crashed in front of the car, and I'm like, oh shit!
So you had to
oh,
slam
shit.
on your brakes.
Yeah. Oh, I just stopped. I'm like, you're right. Like they got up like straight away. It wasn't like a heavy crash, but like we all kind of stopped and were like, fuck. Like
How
I'd
did it
never
happen?
seen it before.
How did
It
it
was
happen?
just really wet road, and it was kind of like on the tram track.
Oh,
where it's a bit
tram
more
tracks.
slippery. Like it's like concrete as opposed to like road.
I mean,
like bitumen.
Oil rigs, Uber scooter riders, some of the dangerous jobs of our generation.
Yeah.
Shit was scary, man.
Yeah, well, you get yourself into trouble and could end up in prison as an Uber driver. You don't know what might happen. I will say about prison, like I knew one guy, that I used to be mates with, who ended up being in prison a couple of different times, and he had a fairly criminal temperament, and the prison didn't do anything for him good. And it just effectively made him worse. He did eventually go on and turn his life around, became really religious and had a family. But
This is the dude you bumped into.
yeah, this is the dude I bumped into in Shepparton
Oh,
that I knew from
dude.
Melbourne.
Shepparton fucking hasn't
Yeah.
seen this dude in years. He comes home and he's like, I just saw a fucking ghost. I just saw this guy.
Well, he came up to me in the gym and he was like, "Kel," and I was like,
Was he jacked?
Where? Yeah, oh my god, he's always been a weapon. But like, he got into a whole bunch of trouble in Melbourne, and was very, very involved with a bunch of scene, drug dealing, all the rest of it, and then eventually did go to prison. And before eventually he did turn his life around. But before that happened, he ended up just getting worse into it. He networked. He met more criminals that he was going to get involved with, and after he got out, and that is what happened. So I would question sometimes the system of locking people up together like that.
It's what I said. Because we had Mick Hall who spent time in Pentridge, some of the hardest prisons up in the Gold Coast, like Brisbane, high security in jail with Chopper at the time, and I said it's for they're trying to rehabilitate, and it was a bit like, yeah, come on,
It's
yeah,
like sending all fat people to McDonald's and locking them in.
It
Saying
is similar to that. Yeah, it's akin to that. I suppose.
Fucking just you still got the nuggets.
a podcast, Can't Fight Fate, a bikie who's
Oh, I've
from
seen that. I've seen
Sydney,
that guy on
western
YouTube.
suburbs. I fucking love it. I can't get enough of it.
He talks about Gronks.
He talks about Gronks, but he doesn't like Gronks.
Oh,
Whereas
really?
we're the Gronk squad. But
Can I
So
ask,
do we have a
what are the like? I know because I'm following you. I still follow you guys.
And Tommy?
Yeah, I still follow him at least up till today.
Yeah.
What is it? Where did Gronk come from?
I started using it. It's one of my favourite words.
Mhm.
My brother and I used it quite a lot when we were younger. and I just fucking love the word gronk. It just is fun.
But is this how what you were like your fans like how Lady Gaga calls them
Yeah, we got the
monsters
Gronk
or whatever?
Squad.
It's a community.
Yeah, so it's your fan base now. So you call
Watch how
them
you
Gronks.
fucking talk about them.
I've got nothing but love for the Gronks.
Yeah,
But
we'll set
sorry.
the fucking gronks on you.
Yeah.
I needed to get it worked out what they fucking
So,
were first.
all right. So Gronks are imperfect.
Yeah.
They might fucking put something in the bin when there isn't a fucking bin liner in it.
Yeah,
you know?
but we've all done it.
We've all done it.
We're just, you're basically just, a gronk is selfish at times.
Yes.
A gronk is your best mate who's funny,
Uh-huh.
who has your back. So it's quite versatile, as I like to say.
Yeah.
That
Anyone
word.
could probably qualify to be a Gronk
Oh, no,
at some
that's
stage.
right. We're just trying to lower the barrier.
Very
Yeah,
inclusive squad.
Yeah.
Mate, the gronk squad.
I
But
would
it's
be
great.
that because now that I'm in the apartment,
Yeah.
putting out the trash, and there is the note on the you know how you get the drop,
The shoot.
the
You gotta
shoot,
shoot, yeah.
and it's like you got to take the glass bottles down.
Yeah.
And I just keep.
That's
Yeah,
a
it's a
fucking
gronk
gronk.
move.
It's Confessions of a gronk.
I just keep putting the beers in
That's
there.
an
I just keep
absolute
putting the beers in there.
Confession of a gronk.
Yeah, you are a Gronk.
Yeah.
So you got to go to thedailytalkshow.com and sign up as a Gronk Squad
yeah.
member.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of
You
being
get
a
an
Gronk squad
email
member?
once today. Actually, we
Do
send
I
an email.
get updates?
You get updates, exclusive content, and mate, you've been on the show. You're a part of the Gronk. You're
Yeah.
part of the family.
Yeah, beautiful.
You're an absolute Gronk. That podcast, Can't Fight Fate. It's fucking sick. He talks about just being in jail. He's such a good storyteller. This dude. He's John Abraham's cousin,
Yeah, right.
and so he grew up in some
I don't
fucking.
know who that is.
He's a Sydney nightclub
Okay.
owner. That
A promoter?
Well, he's the owner.
He's a
of the
creative
nightclubs.
director.
Oh, dude.
Aren't we all?
He's in promos.
He's been in Underbelly, like they made series about him. He's a weapon. Anyway, that's his cousin, and he's just grown up amongst that fucking bikie scene. He's a bikie since he was 14, and it's just fascinating hearing the stories of being in jail over in Adelaide and shit. I've just found myself like an hour later. Oh, what the fuck? What have I been doing?
Yeah.
Sorry, I actually scared you.
Guys, next time we need to actually do some form of road trip, have a reason to go back to Shepparton.
Shepparton.
Maybe
I
do an
haven't-
outside broadcast.
I haven't been back. Tommy, you've been back, and obviously Bernie's from there, but I've not been.
Shitloads.
I haven't been back there once, not even once.
I've got a great idea. We should all road trip, everyone in this room,
Land of
Plenty.
Plenty.
to Land of
Yeah.
Plenty. Yeah, there's
Oh.
a festival happening
What
in
is it?
Shep. It's a music
I've never
festival.
been to a festival before.
Mate,
Wow.
Free tickets?
Wow.
Free tickets?
this will be awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Gronk
Yeah,
Squad.
I'm in.
This
All right,
Gronk
what is it
Squad,
called?
not the whole
Yeah,
Gronk Squad.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
The
chill
land
out.
of, what is it called?
Land of Plenty.
Land of Plenty.
Illy's
Yeah.
headlining, right?
Yeah, there's
One
like
of the
Slowly,
things-
Slowly's on.
One-
Ocean Alley's playing.
One of the
Ocean
things is
Alley.
when,
Yeah.
What
when I was
date?
in Shep, I was like, there was
We need to
never
know the date.
there was never music festivals
Guys,
when
we
we were
don't
in
even know
Shep.
the date
No.
yet.
November 2nd,
November
Saturday.
2nd.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cup
Fuck.
weekend.
November 2nd, that will be...
That's good memory on you. Look at you go.
Well, I just saw his promotional work.
I was going to say that. I would never know that. Like
I
that's
don't know.
something.
Is it right? Am I right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
like,
good.
you know,
A cup weekend.
do
Of
you want
course,
to
you
support
beauty.
horse racing, or do you want to have a great time
Yeah.
in a place you've never been before with some
Shepparton.
great bands?
Yeah, that will be
Oh, he's
episode...
been
It's like episode 503
All right.
for us.
Can you
Oh,
get?
yeah.
So
Can
it's
you
very
get?
close to 500.
Can you get Illy's headlining? Can you get Illy on our show? Illy's your mate. We'll get.
I
Can you get
try,
him into
yeah.
the Daily
Yeah,
Talk Show
he's
studio?
back at the moment, so
let's get him
try.
on.
Yeah, let's
Huge
try.
promotional.
No, it sounds like a promise.
Can we get
so
the show
outside-
going from Shep for Land of Plenty?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes, let's do that.
Backstage.
Yeah.
Great.
You've
So
got
we could be like
15
the new...
people here sitting there helping your show out.
So it's almost-
Are you all being paid? Like, are you fucking? This is
Don't know.
unbelievable.
I mean,
Big media
it's
company.
like Channel V. Like we'll be the new channel. Is Channel V? Do they still?
No.
Shall they think?
Is it a thing? Is it a music?
Is it? I mean, you would know.
Yeah, well,
Bmac.
it's more like MTV are like doing really great things for Australian music right now. So I'd say like
Who owns MTV in Australia?
I wouldn't know. I'd say
Mr.
like
97. Who owns MTV?
Shouldn't wait for that. Just keep talking. Let him do his
Yeah,
business.
No,
dead
we
air.
wait. No, Dead Air's the best.
Viacom or Viacom
Oh,
Media
Viacom.
Networks?
I think
Ah,
that's the
okay,
American. Do they own the Australian MTV? Like, I wonder who owns the MTV license. I'm just curious in
In terms
Australia.
of a broadcaster.
Well, yeah, I'm just
Who
curious.
gives
As,
It would be.
absolute fuck.
well, because
Not
if
one
they're,
person.
supporting it, I'm just curious as who the fuck is.
They're not support. They're just supporting music in general.
Yeah, but someone's putting up the cash to be able to do this. I want to know, are they fucking a good company that's got a lot of life in them, or is it just going to be a spark and MTV's not going
I
to.
don't think so.
Same company, Josh.
Viacom.
Yeah.
Okay. Viacom's pretty big.
No follow.
No fault. That's okay.
So head over, Stacey June. Tell her the Gronks.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her you're a part of the Gronk squad and you heard about her from from
All
Tommy
positive.
Jackett.
She
At
is
Tommy
actually
Jackett.
lovely.
Oh, she's
And
lovely.
No,
we've
she's
had,
lovely.
We've had Stacey on the show before.
Yeah, no,
she's
Twice?
Yeah,
Yeah,
twice.
we've had her on twice.
We had a
Massive,
lot,
massive supporters of us.
we had a lot to do with each other when I was in Shepparton. She's as genuine person as you could imagine. So I hope she doesn't misinterpret this. But I mean,
It's all a
I
bit
wouldn't mind to follow either though, Stace, if you're listening.
Yeah. Anyone else that we want to follow from?
Matt Devilla follows me, follows you.
Yeah.
Who else? I don't know. Follow for the next 5 minutes.
I want to follow from your production team out
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, we can get
that's
you
good.
1, 2, 3, 4. We've got
Boom.
four follows we can get you
Yeah,
right.
Pose a podcast. Oh, and I should drop a reference to the Kybers band that I've just started. So
Oh,
go
yeah.
and follow them, the Kybers.
What sort of
We're
music?
not MTV, mate. We don't support local Australian.
You support anything, mate. I've heard the show before. You chuck a follow to anybody.
And so, what style of music? What are we? And are you on Spotify yet?
It would be indie rock. We should have some stuff on Spotify in the next couple of weeks. I'm
Blink
not fucking
182,
around.
Offspring, that sort of style.
No, that would be pop punk. Realistically, I think Strokes, think Arctic Monkeys.
Just
things like that.
last thing, Machine Gun Kelly. What do you think of his new song?
Yeah, he's good, man.
The new song, the
He's the
one
man.
that's with Travis Barker.
Yep. Yep.
Sick, isn't it?
Yep.
What do you think
Very
of that
good.
Old
He's the
Town
man.
Road?
Old Town
Little
Road.
Nas.
That's had a lot of
Never
talk
heard
around
it.
it, hasn't it? Oh yeah,
heard
bullshit,
it.
bullshit.
Yeah.
What
No,
about his
I
new
like
song?
it. It's
Panini.
cool.
Do you like Panini?
Panini's cool.
Yeah.
He's gone places.
Yeah,
I don't think he's just gonna have that one hit.
Who's
No.
about to blow, Bmac? Let's get something what you
Bit
actually know
personal,
about.
but we'll.
There's
It's
a
Sunday
kid.
fun one.
There's a kid, and his name's the kid Leroy. He's 15. He's like from Sydney. He's from like Redfern.
Is he on TikTok?
He probably is, man.
should
I
be
don't
if he's
know.
not.
But yeah, he's out in like LA now, and he blew up over here on a radio station.
Which
and
one?
then on Triple J.
Uh-huh.
And then he went overseas and then connected with artists here, and now he's got the same manager as this guy called Juice WRLD, who's like one of the biggest hip hop artists in the world right now. And they're just taking their time, but he's like this kid, and he's got the world at his feet. So there's him, and there's another kid called Creed the Kid from Brisbane, and he's only like 15 or 16 too. So watch out for that kid.
Creed
In
the
like
Kid.
a year time.
Let's
In
put
a
some
year's
links
time.
in the show notes
Yes.
on YouTube and the podcast.
Let's make him pop.
Let's move the needle, guys. Come on.
Yeah, let's get Stacey some followers and
Let's make
let's
some
get.
impacts.
Creed the Kid.
Yeah.
Creed the Kid.
And what was the other one?
The Kid Leroy.
So
That's his
it's
name.
a big thing on kids at the moment. They all. That's a good question though. Both two
You know
people that
what?
are popping
Like
both kids.
people like old school, like even with any terms of music,
Mm.
like never used to believe in like the youth. And I think now
What about
that
Kid
it's
Rock?
proven,
Kid Rock was big.
Kid
Kid
Rock,
Rock,
I think
yes.
he was like,
Didn't he
wasn't he
run
like
for
30 when he
Yeah,
was like,
he never
you
grew
know,
up.
Kid
yeah.
Cudi.
Kid
Cudi.
Cudi.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Did you see
Rock.
that video of him
No.
dancing to MGMT?
No.
Oh, look it up. It was crazy. He
Did
can't
you see?
remember doing
Did
it
you see
himself.
Logic and Eminem's with Crystalia?
Yeah, it's
Like
so
that.
good.
That is fucking sick,
It's funny. It's fucking
Kid Rock doesn't do many radio interviews.
doesn't he?
No, he actually he had an incident once where he wasn't a fan of one of the program directors at I think it was Kiss in LA, and said on air that he'd had sexual intercourse with the PD's partner, and so he doesn't do radio stuff.
Didn't he run for president or something recently?
Kid Rock?
Sounds
Didn't
about
he,
sounds about
yeah,
right.
I'm serious. Like he
Jeez.
was like, let's go, fucking Kid Rock 2020.
Yeah.
And Pamela Anderson's kid, who was she married to?
Tommy Lee.
Lee?
Tommy Lee, yeah.
From Motley Crue.
Yeah, his kid, their kid is on MTV's The Hills.
Oh, cool.
Ah,
Is he a good looking little fella?
Yeah,
He would be
How-
a good looking rooster, you'd
Oh,
imagine.
yeah. I mean, his
He's probably like
dad's a
21
rock star. His
or
mum was
whatever.
a
wanting to act and things like that.
Baywatch woman.
a
Anyway,
Baywatch woman. That's, listen to that,
MTV,
would
maybe
ya?
I think MTV's on the way up.
3D deal looks like he wants to say something.
Yeah,
what's
what's-
going on,
Oh,
brother?
no, I just want to say fuck Kid Rock.
Why?
Why?
What's wrong with Kid Rock?
I'm not a fan.
Really?
It's like he's like, oh, I'm a country guy, and then he's a rock star, and then thinks he's a rapper.
So you don't like the fact that he's changed genres?
No, I just don't like the way that he presents himself.
Well, neither do I, but I don't mind that he changed genres.
I don't mind that he
These
changed genres, but I
days, a
think he could
genre-
go about representing himself in
Yeah.
a better way.
Yeah, pick one, Kid
yeah, I
Rock.
know. Jesus, are you country? Are you rock? What's going on?
Yeah.
3D deal.
Yeah. I mean, Old Town Road, the ultimate fucking genre clusterfuck.
Is it trap? Is it
is.
hip hop? Yeah. Did you see like that whole saga about that with it being not a country song and not accepted in the country charts because it was kind of trappy?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
He got
Cyrus.
taken off the country
He got
charts.
taken off the country charts.
And then put back on.
I think it's an outrage.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna,
mean, if-
on that note, let's wrap it up.
Yeah. I mean, if this was Townsville, would have been. This is great banter. Townsville, is that
Town-
where you were?
Tamworth.
Tamworth.
I
Fucked it.
thought he meant Shepparton. I'm like,
Townsville.
where the fuck did you get
I'm
Townsville
not.
from?
See, this is why I couldn't be on radio. I'd fuck the town too
All right,
much.
all right, guys.
It's a daily talk show.
See you tomorrow.
Well, geez, that was abrupt.
I think we're running out of battery.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.
See you
Hey,
guys.
boys.